doing all right? Good. Yeah, but that's interesting. You left more jobs in 7 months than you did in 30 years. Now you're right back. I remember you walking into me, I ain't going back. I said, I can't talk to her right now. And she back. Hope, if you want to go ahead and start our music, since we just got a one-man show tonight. Everybody clap for Hope. Hope doing everything. We good? All right, we ready to roll. Hello and welcome all to the House of Reconciliation here at the Greenwood campus. I am happy to be with you this evening. Have kind of an interesting lesson that I was wondering and asking, why is it shifting? And I'm realizing that I think it's Saturday. We go into August, which is supposed to be a new day. And if you can put me up in the back. And I was kind of perplexed about it because I keep going back to something I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of, but I'm challenged with. And so I asked the Lord to help me find a different angle. And as I was reading and researching, I realized why I was asking. Because I'm like, why are we still here? And we have to gather more on the positive side than we have on the negative side. So for those who are interested in a scripture, it is one that I can pretty much quote you verbatim, but I'm going to give it to you. It is in Numbers 13 and 33. And I think I share with them the subject. What is the subject? It's time to get out of the closet. And that can be taken a variety of different ways. And I asked my young brainiacs and young intelligent group to give me something that they thought would resonate with the nation across the globe, and for our Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook participants. And they said, well, get out of the closet. And so there's a variety of things that you can take in consideration. But one I want to start with is your future can never be established as long as you're hiding from the opportunity. And so this is a context and the narrative of getting out of the closet. Learning how to overcome your fears, your insecurities, your low self-esteem, our being uncomfortable. And so when I went back to the scripture, Numbers 13 and 33, for those who want to write it down, I hope to God that I don't have to come back here with the same scripture again. Because when I was studying it, what I gathered was, from the narrative, was the odds and the numbers were against Caleb and Joshua. And the Bible reads that Caleb tried to still silence the people. And so what I gathered from it is the majority will always make you think, watch this, that either you're wrong or right. Now here's the caveat. The majority has nothing to do with your faith. But the majority can alter your perception of your faith. And when the 12 spies came back, they each gave a report. First of all, they was out of the ordinance of God, because God told them when they got there 646 years prior to go up and possess it. Sometime, not all the time, but sometime when you hesitate, you lose your momentum. Sometimes when you're fretful, you're frightful. Many times people don't think they belong, they don't think they deserve. That is the closet. That is the closet of the subconscious. That is the closet of fear. That is the closet of denial. That is the closet of generational curses. That is the closet of poverty. And so in that closet, you feel so comfortable. But watch this. You're surrounded by things that can't grow, but they can infect. And if they can infect, they can affect. And so sometimes you can have a dream, but you don't realize that your dream is going to start with a seed. I was saying to someone in the back, I said, we want the ocean, but we don't understand the drip, because it is the drip that begins to release the water. God has released you, but you're afraid and think you don't have enough. And so this is why the children of God had gone through these 647 years and get to a point, and they could not see past their fear. How many of you tonight, this evening, as we are here on the Greenwood campus, and for those that are across the globe, have dreams and visions, have opportunities and potential job offers, but you are afraid to step out of your comfort zone. You are afraid to leave your closet. But a seed cannot do what a seed is supposed to do until it opens up. And how many of you are hiding from the reality and the growing pains that is going to take to birth that seed? I had a young girl talking to me about 2 weeks ago. She was, I think, around 8 years old, and she had shared with me that she had planted a plum tree. And she planted it on Friday or either Saturday, and she says, when I get home. And this is why from the media department that we have purchased other cameras, and we're working hopefully in August that when people are talking to me, we can record it. It doesn't have to be live, but that was such a moment. She planted it, and immediately after planting, she was in expectation. But watch this, but not in knowledge. Wasn't anything wrong with her enthusiasm. Wasn't anything wrong with her process of putting it in the ground. But no one taught her the steps that it was going to take in order for her dream to be fulfilled. Why is this important? Let me give you this. She told me the story. She says, right behind where we live, there are peach trees and plum trees. And she says, so the neighbor lets me pick peaches and plums. So she thought she could plant the seed and immediately have peach trees and plums. How many of you have had a dream and thought the first step that you took in your dream, it was going to come a reality? This is the same thing that happened to the people of God. They were told, but they didn't listen. And see, anytime you come up with an alternative plan, it may not be your best plan. So they said, let us sin. See, everybody that comes in your circle and everybody in your community is not going to vote for you. Everyone on your team is not going to vote for you to be captain. It doesn't mean that you don't qualify to be captain, but you may not be their choice. So the little girl, when I told her, I said, look up for me real quick. How long does it take a peach tree to produce his first set of peaches. Look that up and let me know, because I'm missing some of my brainiacs. Because see, we don't understand that it takes time to develop the dream. Just because you want it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And you want God to bring you something and give you a blessing that's bigger than your closet. God will not bring you a blessing that is bigger than your closet. You're going to have to step out of your closet and show God and show the world that you're willing to work through a process. And here's the problem. You've heard me say this. We still today fold too much into our emotions. We don't know how to be professional. We don't know how to think and talk business. Many people today are still talking out of how they feel. Little Reggie, just how you feel. You feel like ice cream today, or you feel like watermelon? What do you feel like today, little Reggie? I think I want a peach pie today. But where your peaches at? I don't have no peaches. But why you want a peach pie? Because that's what I want. Okay, little Reggie, how you gonna get them peaches? I don't know, but I want a peach pie. See, that's the author of confusion. Because you have done nothing to set up what you want. And first of all, here's a challenge. You refuse to address your needs before you want to address your wants. And many people today are stuck with what they want and don't have anything they need. What you need will take you through tomorrow. What you want only satisfies you in the closet. That didn't go over well, but it's okay. Because here is the thing. When I say today's brick sets up tomorrow's foundation, and I said, can you see past hope? And what happened was, no, you can't. Because you're still stuck in the closet of somebody do it for me, and I need you to take care of me while I sit here in a closet of fear, and I think that the closet is going to change. First of all, there's no light or wiring to light your closet. And you're gonna have to step out of your closet and step into an open atmosphere in order for you to have any light to shine on your situation. You want everything to come to you, and you're at a point that you need to walk and work to everything that you want. Oh, Lord, I'm trying to stay out that window. I'm not trying to go there. Okay, all right. Here is what I would say. What was my subject again? It's time to get out of closet. Here's the thing. Opportunity will present itself. I want you to write that down. See, because if you look at Numbers 13 and 33, the opportunity presented itself, but they were not philosophically, psychologically, or pathologically ready to take it. Now, I'm going to show you this. The opportunity will present itself, but are you ready? If I was, as they would say in the old church, getting ready to take a text and preach, here is what I want those that are around the globe and those that will be at the Greenville campus. I want you to write this down. We need to understand the power of denial. Understand the power of denial versus the power of agreement. Because what happened here is they wanted something. They believed and thought they deserved it, but they were not willing to work out the process. See, the process cannot be worked in the closet. The process has to be worked out openly so you can learn through and from the process. Here is the thing. When you work in the closet, you leave out the presence of God. They left out the presence of God because they saw themselves as something God never called them. Someone spoke with me earlier today on the phone, and they said, what I said Sunday, which I don't remember what I said Sunday, was so powerful. Y'all better hurry up and get me out of here, because ain't no telling what I'm going to be saying next. They said, I don't even know what it was. If anybody can remember that powerful statement that I said on Sunday about what comes out of your mouth is what God called you. Somebody need to bring that back to me or text it to me. I don't have my phone, but text it to me so I can have it for tomorrow night, because see, you're calling yourself one thing when God said that you were another thing. And you have let people colonize you, and you have let people segregate you from God because they called you something that God never called you. And if they really were to search God and search the Bible, it is one people out of one blood that became one in any house that is divided. And so people don't have to fight you when you are divided against yourself. See, when you're divided against yourself, and I really don't want to go here because I'm trying to finish in the next 16 minutes. When your intelligence is divided from your emotions win because you will not use your intelligence. When you use your intelligence says it is an acquired set of knowledge and skills. When you use your emotions, it comes out of your pain, your anger, and your short-sightedness of thinking. So which one you think is going to take you the distance? Your feelings, your anger, your quick association of something? Or if you were to use your intelligence, come on, Brainiac, you hadn't been here a while, look up intelligence and stand up and take your mask off and read it for me, because, see, you refuse to use the weapons that'll set you free. And I know somebody out there trying to pull on me, but I'm not trying to give y'all that tonight. They're like, oh, pal, you need to rest your boy. You know, you sound like you're tired and all that. No, I'm not trying to go there. Come on. The ability. See, if you're in your feelings and you're in your closet, how can you acquire when it's me, myself, and I stuck in a closet? So your subconscious start leading you when your subconscious hadn't dealt with the reality that you live in. So it says what now? The ability. It starts out with do you have the ability to acquire the necessary skills and the necessary tools to take you to your destiny? This is the same question that Israel should have said. And I'm going to show you in the Bible here. Come on. Once you get it, it becomes knowledge and skills. So this is why God was saying, go up and possess the land, because out of 647 years, you ought to be ready by now. And here is the problem. Many people are not ready because they're still somewhere stuck in their feelings and emotions, and still stuck in the closet of their past, and still dealing with pain and unresolved issues. So you cannot acquire knowledge, and you cannot turn knowledge into skills. And you know what the opposite of intelligence is? Stupidity. So how many people today, and I know that's not a popular word, how many people today are still doing stupid stuff? How you gonna quit your job and you need a job? How you not gonna take a job but you can't make your mortgage, you can't make your apartment payment, you can't make your car payment, but you don't want to drive nowhere. You want everything to be 1 foot from the house. I know I'm in the right place now. I see something, oh Lord. Because you want your job up the street, you want the grocery store on the corner, you want to be able to pay all your bills 10 steps, then hit home. You don't want to even drive. Some people don't even like driving on the 4-lane highway. Too big, too many cars. Yeah, don't fall out, bunnies, don't fall out, too many cars, I can't drive up there. Speed limit 55, that's too fast, You may as well get a horse and buggy. You may as well get a horse and buggy. Look up intellect for me. Because here is the thing. This is the whole point. It's learning how to close the circle. This is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to give you this. Closing the circle. Why am I still stuck and still in the closet? Because this is what? Many are trying to stay in the closet because they're unfamiliar with a new environment. And a new environment will always make you uncomfortable because it shows you there's room to grow. I'm going to say that again. See, you don't want to get out the box. You want to go somewhere where don't nobody know you, where it's all small. Where you're at will never grow. This is why I tell people when they ask about the ministry, I say, you got to make up your mind, because see, this ain't a ministry that's going to tell you what you want to hear. This ain't a ministry where you're going to see me in a shirt and a tie every Sunday. This ain't that. This ain't a ministry where, oh, God is great, God is wonderful. You're great. In fact, when you get to heaven, God's going to give you an extra crown. This ain't the one. This is one that's going to look you in the face and say, are you maximizing your potential on earth? And have you created your eternal insurance policy? So if you were to leave this earth, not only when you leave, but your heirs, your children, your family, your nieces and your nephews will have more than just the moment at the repast. What kind of legacy are you leaving? This is the kind of ministry that looks you in the face and challenges you. And if you're wealthy, it still challenges you. What are you doing to help others create wealth? This ain't the poverty ministry. This ain't the fried bucket of chicken ministry. People asking me now, we need to raise funds. I'm like, I'm not doing no fish fry. You can fry your fish at home. At the I don't even know the word I told her. Liquor house, fish fry, liquor. I don't even know what it is. You know, no, you got intellect. Come on. The capacity. See, here's what they didn't have. Now I get it. Here's what they didn't have. They didn't have the capacity to see themselves bigger. And here's what I'm telling you. The majority don't see what God put in you. And the majority will talk you out of the gift that God has given you. And if the majority talks you out of it, and then you talk you out of it, then the gift can never be manifested. This is why you're still stuck, and you're still in the closet, and you're still stuck, and you feel like your neighborhood is struggle. You feel like your community is survival, and you think that you live on a street of poverty. It's because you don't see yourself as being blessed. You see yourself being stuck because everybody else is stuck and the majority of your environment is stuck. So then you think it's okay to be stuck, and then you have the audacity to post stuff and talk about the struggle is real. When the Bible says that I wish that you would be in good health and prosper as well as your soul. So I don't understand what Bible you are reading. And see, here's the problem. Now, I'm finna go to work now. I got 8 minutes. Here's the problem. Many are thrown into things rather than prepared and groomed so they can be successful. Let me make this plain. When your parents are not prepared, generally, you will be prepared. Because your parents will dump you out there. Now you got to get a job. You got to try to go to school. You got to try to pay for a car. You got to try to pay for living on campus or whatever, because they didn't start you early. They waited until you got 20-something. And now they tell you you grown after they can't deduct you no more on their taxes. Now they throw you to the wolves. Hello, somebody, come on. Amen. Let the church, as the old church would say, let the church say amen. The church say amen. And then you wonder what's wrong with them, and they still at the house, is that when they were 12, you never started giving them responsibility, because they gonna whine when you give them responsibility, and you give in to the whining. And then when they get an adult, they're struggling to listen to anybody on the job. And so instead of them paying their bills, you're paying their bills. Because you didn't prepare them and you didn't groom them. We need to replace all this petting and coddling and start preparing and grooming. See, one of the reasons that people need to come out of the closet is because you hold on too long, and you lose precious time, and then you hope things will change when you've done nothing to create change. A seed will remain in the ground dormant until the temperature and the sun and it's the right amount of water. If you don't germinate within your time, your seed will never grow. Here's what has to happen. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your box. Get out of that pit, that's low self-esteem pit, that pit that always puts you down, that pit that sits there and show you your past, that pit that sits there, those spirits that talk to your mind. Matthew 12:45, look it up, read it at your own time. And the other thing you need to get out of is victimize mode. Everything that happens, you the victim. Sometimes you need to realize you the predator. You play victim to trap and destroy other people. This is what the 10 spies did. They didn't say we can do it. They spread it out mess among the people. This is what happens when the power of denial is there. See, those that you think are strong, many times are not strong. Even a strong person needs support. If you could learn to trust, then you could receive support. I got something for you. Here is the thing. The power of denial keeps a person locked in a closet that's only in their mind and not in their present. Here is the thing I want to share with you. Blinded by sight. Anybody have Numbers 13 and 33? Read it please real quick. They were blinded by what they saw. Sometimes the blessing of God is bigger than your eyes. You are blinded by what you see. You see the giants, but God told you something. I'm going to show you something here before I leave you this evening. I'm going to show you something real quick. You are blinded by the magnitude of the blessing that God has for you. So the easiest thing for you to do is to fold up and fold down and give in and give up and say it's too hard. I don't want to drive to Greenwood to work. I don't want to drive to Greenville to work, but you need a job. How can your bills be paid? Well, you're still looking for somebody to help you. You need to learn how to help yourself. You need to, but you can't do it if you're always in victim mode. Victim mode starts out with low self-esteem. That's what victim mode does. Victim mode starts out with, oh man, oh no. Now attitude to jump up and do something. But then your intellect got to deal with what you've done. Many people have done things out of their feelings and emotions because they're trying to run away from stuff. They're trying to run away. If I just do this, I'll just go work over this city. I'll move out of town. I'll go up north. I'll go down south. I'll go do this. You're still taking you with you. All them things in your head riding with you. They make you think they left them. You think you left them. But as soon as you come up on the next bump in the road, you thought you moved from them. You thought you left them. You thought you left them in the car. They just sit there and roll with you along. You just ride, and I'm gone. Anybody who know where I'm at, what I'm doing, see all up in my business, and just riding around by my yard, know where I work. I'm gone. You taking all alfalfa, pokey. You taking me. You taking every critter with you, but you don't see it. Blinded by sight. Come on. So you see the test. You see what you got to do. God, if you see it, you ought to be able to use your intellect and your intelligence, which is an acquired knowledge and skill. So if you see the giants, figure out a way to defeat the giants. Look at somebody and say, quit crying about the giants. Use your intelligence. Use your intellect. It's an acquired knowledge. You're going to have to acquire something in order to defeat the enemy. You cannot defeat the enemy speaking in tongues. Coming on a Honda. You cannot defeat the devil with speaking in tongues. The devil can speak in more tongues than you can speak. You're going to have to defeat the devil with spiritual insight and spiritual foresight, and you're going to have to defeat the devil with the purpose that God has given you. You cannot defeat the devil being mad. Because if you're mad, you're with the devil. Somebody just said, I got to stop cussing on my job. I know that. I heard it. I got to stop calling them people stupid on my job. I got to say, how you going to call somebody stupid and cuss them out and tell me, you want to come to church on Sunday? I urge you. Oh, you urge you? Oh, I'm not coming to your church. You liable to be cussing me out. This ain't for the saved folks. This is for the folks that's trying to overcome. Y'all church folks, y'all can turn this off right now. I'm talking to the unchurched. Because you can't even, I urge you. Oh, Lord, no, you urge, because you mad coming in. You didn't even speak. You've been at work 2 hours before you spoke. You want to go to work and be the leader, but don't want to talk to nobody at work. I mean, come on, what kind of mess is that? Come on. So you see, so now what is your strategy when you see your test? What is your strategy when you come up on your next enemy? What is your strategy? Boy, ain't nobody got one. Lord have mercy. Come on. You even know where they from. But you have not took no time to think because you're blinded by sight. You see the problem, but you can't think of a solution. And isn't God supposed to be omnipresent, omniscient, and all that? So you can't call him? Ain't nobody want to talk to me now. Okay, come on. So you know where they're coming from. So if you know where they're coming from, you ought to be able to plug up the hole. If you know somebody's bringing you bad news and dysfunction, why are you talking to them? Because you want that mess. You want that guano. You like guano. If you don't know what guano is, look it up. You like trash. You like gossip. You like mess. And every time you get in somebody's mess, they spirits now have a free invitation to get on you. I'm going to help them with their problems. You can't help yourself with your own problems. I'm going to give them advice. You can't even take your own advice. Come on. Chicken Little. Scaredy Cat. Yeah, they haven't even seen you. If they saw you, they could have crushed you. Can I help you out just for a minute here? Let me see where is this. Oh, here's what it is. Okay, unfamiliar. Here's the thing. Here's one thing you got to do, and one thing they couldn't see. And I said this, blinded by sight. You cannot see until you learn how to release your past. Your past will blind your present. Your nightmare will always interfere with your daylight. And so you can't see, you know, you've heard, you understand who they are, but you have no plan to deal with the issue. Because you haven't released your plan. If the mind isn't open, then the opportunities are always closed. I said again, if our minds are not open, then the door of opportunities are closed. Here's one thing I'm going to leave you with and probably pick it up in Greenville. Too often, people are disturbed by the noise. So if you're going to write in, those of you across the nation and across the globe, I want you to write this. Distracted by the noise. Distracted by the noise. And the reason I say that is because when I was going back and I was studying this and I was asking God, you got to give me a new angle for this because I'm tired of this. And the thing that I got out of it was that when the 10 spies came back, the people began to talk and murmur among themselves. And so when Joshua and Caleb tried to steal the people, there was too much noise going on. And so when one household is in unrest, then it sets off the other household to be in unrest. And then the neighbors come over to your house because the police are there, and there's noise there, and there's yelling and screaming there, and nobody can get the details. And when you and I are distracted by the noise, and for those who have stayed on past the 30 minutes, I want to share this with you. When we are in the power of denial, blinded by sight, distracted by noise, refuse to come out of the closet, do you know what's missing? Number one, the Word of God. Number two, the presence of God. Number three, the process of God. Number four, the promises of God. Number five, the assurance of God. I'll give those to you again. Here's what happens. Whether it's you or me, when we don't want to listen, when we're in the closet, because that was our subject, right? It's time to get out of the closet. When we don't want to come out of our comfort zone, when we don't want to come out of our fear, we don't want to come out of low self-esteem, we don't want to come out of poverty, we don't want to come out of struggle, we don't want to stop staggering, we're just highly polluted in our mind, then this is where the power of denial comes. Because we're resisting the truth. See, you resist what you won't accept. If you accept it, the truth will work for you. But as long as you resist it, it won't. So you get the power of denial. And as they saw the giants, now you're blinded by sight. And when the people began to go from one household to the other household, they became distracted by the noise in the community. And here's what happens. They left out God, number one. They left out the presence of God, number two. They left out the processes of God, number three. They left out the promises of God, number four. And they left out the assurance of God, number five. Ask me why. Because the number five represents grace. And had they moved by faith, can I make it plain? They'd have never been hindered by sight. Had they went on and ignored the noise, well, Piedmont Tech is full, you shouldn't go. Lander is full, you shouldn't go. Greenville Tech is full, you shouldn't go back right now. You need to do all this. See, here's the thing. Satan tries to get you to build a house that don't have a foundation, because you can get all the window dressings and the curtains and the furniture, but if the foundation is bad, it'll sink right through the sand. Same thing with the 5 wise and the 5 foolish. Same thing with the wise man builds his house upon a rock and the foolish man builds his house upon the sand. If the foundation is not right, here's what I'm gonna leave you with, and I have to give you this. They looked at it with their sight and saw themselves as grasshoppers. They forgot the promises of God. They forgot the assurance of God. Anytime that you're going to take on a task, anything that you're going to do, applying for a job, and here's what God to do. God will have you apply for a job in Greenville. You just apply, but you live in Greenville. You live in Abbeville. God wants to see that you're going to do something. But what you want is God to give you a job across the street. You want God to bless you with money, but you won't handle the money that you have right now. So here's what happens. Anytime that you're going to take on a task, you must remember that evil will always look bigger than the opportunity that God is presenting to you. I'm going to say this again. They that look by their sight, blinded by sight, as a grasshopper, they forgot the promises of God. Now, don't y'all steal this, but that's a book. Those 5 things that I gave y'all. Do I know? No, it's going to be in my book if y'all don't write it first. And I know somebody at the time, I know somebody across the world telling me, Reggie Campbell ain't going to get this one. I'm going to play this back 10 times. I'm going to get everything he said, and I'm going to write me a book, and I'm going to find me some scriptures, and I'm going to get my book out there. You go ahead, but mine is coming. But here's the thing. They looked with their sight, and they heard the noise as a grasshopper, and they forgot. How many of you have forgotten the promise that God has? They forgot his assurance, his insurance policy. He said, I'll never leave you and I'll never forsake you. But he didn't say you wouldn't have trouble. So here's the thing. Don't look through your situation with your sight. Work the processes through faith and watch God's promises and his assurance come forth. Sometimes you're so frightened that you keep the door closed on the closet. And God's trying to tell you, if you trust me, I'll lead you there. Hope, as you come up, I'm going to close with this. Now watch this. I'm not going to lead you where it's always peaceful. Why? What does the Bible say? Though I walk through the valley of the shadow. I've got to, watch this. I have to make sure your faith is strong enough for the blessing that you're asking for. God bless you.